Uno, due, tre, quattro. Uno, due, tre, quattro. Uno, due, tre, quattro.
There's a lot of evidence from evolutionary psychology that men are seeking younger women and women are seeking older men. Evolutionary psychologists argue that older men have more resources to protect and care for the family, while younger, more fertile women give their male partners better means of passing along genes. In a study of about 10,000 Swedish men and women, Feeder and his colleagues have found that men had the most children if they were partnered with women about 6 years younger than themselves. So the benefits of age-defying couples go both ways, plus the human species gets a boost. Scientific evidence, boys, that you should be pumping and dumping until you get to be a little older. I mean, maybe when you're 50, maybe when you're 55, maybe when you're 60, maybe then is when you hook up with somebody 30, 35 years old, 40 at most. If your plan is ultimately to get married and have children, why not wait as long as you possibly can? It's good for society. I mean, we now have scientific evidence that older men with younger women is a good thing.
What's up, fellas? This is going to be one of them videos, man. I ain't going to even lie. You know, I was notorious in 2017 for my angry rant. Angry rant and harsh admonishment type videos. But starting with 2018, I didn't do too many of those. I didn't have too many angry rant. Well, in the last 6 months, I think I've had at least 2 or 3. So I have had at least 2 or 3. So anyway, I'm warning you, this is going to be one of those angry rant type videos, man. But before I get to that, I want to give a quick shout out to my fellow dating advisor, Ron Wills. I'm going to have to meet that brother, man. I was in his neck of the woods twice in the last year and a half because I got friends in the DMV area. But yeah, man, me and Ron Wills, we going to have to connect, man. We're going to have to connect, man, or even maybe do at least one podcast together or something, because I'm sure there's some things I say on my video channel that he might not necessarily agree with. Like, I know he doesn't care for the terms alpha and beta. He prefers select versus non-select. And there's been at least probably a handful of things he said on his channel that I didn't 100% agree with. But those exceptions aside, he and I are usually on the same page with a lot of our knowledge, wisdom, and insight and advice. And yeah, he did a video today that's related also to women's true nature. And he had a lot of good points in that video, but particularly the one point I really gave a amen to was about at roughly the 7-minute mark of his video. If you go to his video today and listen to, again, the whole video I think is good, but particularly emphasis on the portion beginning with the 7-minute mark where he essentially says, there's a lot of men who think women have an adverse reaction to the idea of submitting to them, either in general or specifically sexually. And he basically said, no. He said, it's not that women don't want to submit to men in general. He said more specifically, women don't want to submit to beta males. And again, Ron rarely even uses the term alpha and beta, but he said for this video, he was going to make an exception. But yeah, he said, it's not that women don't want to submit to men. Women don't want to submit to beta males. And see, If anybody has a copy of my ebook version, my paperback version, or my audiobook version, and particularly the audiobook version of my book, Ooh, Say It Again, Ooh, Say It Again, I mentioned on a couple of videos, if there's one lighthearted criticism I received in response to my Ooh, Say It Again audiobook, a lot of men said, man, I love your book, Ooh, Say It Again, but man, Alan, if there was one point you seemed to go out of your way to hammer home, man, almost to the point it almost irritated me, you kept reiterating over and over again that women do not want to show their kinky side, their ultra feminine side, and their submissive side to beta males. Damn, man, you just went in on those beta males, man. You really, you didn't make that point once. You made that point about 5 or 6 times. Because it's the truth. They don't. And that's why I always make that delineation between alpha males and beta males. It's the truth. And I was glad to hear Ron Wills talk about that, man. Women don't want to have casual sex with beta males, man. If a woman perceives you as a beta male, they don't want to have casual sex with you. And more often than not, they're not going to really show you, reveal to you their kinkier side. They're not going to reveal to you their ultra feminine side, and they're not going to reveal to you their ultra submissive side. That's one of the reasons why a lot of women will shit test you to see if you're alpha or beta. Because they know who they want to show certain sides to and who they don't. And he even took it a step further, and I've also talked about this. I talk about this, I want to say, in my book, The Beta Male Revolution. He basically said, along with that, he said, Ron Will said, that's one of the reasons why you have so many women who are hardcore radical feminist types, As he said, among other factors, is that a lot of feminists, they want to put policies in place in society to make sure that they don't have to be in a position where they have to submit to a beta male. That makes women cringe, man. Like, I tell you, somebody else who hinted about this, she only touched on it real briefly. But there was this movie that came out in 2016. I went to the premiere, in the Los Angeles premiere. There's a woman named Cassie J. Look her up. Cassie, Cassie-Jaye. And she put out this film called The Red Pill, simply called The Red Pill. And even though she wasn't really a hardcore red pill like a brother like me, but the essence of her documentary is that she was a woman who was formerly a feminist, who used to have some harsh criticisms against men and what she felt was their toxic masculinity. Damn, I hear sirens. Sorry about that. So, yeah, she did this documentary, and she said the theme of her documentary was to show that even a hardcore feminist like her can become more enlightened and more objective-minded about the challenges, frustrations, and obstacles that many heterosexual men are facing in society. But there was this brief, it was real brief in her movie, but she shows this clip of this woman at her wedding reception dancing with her new husband, and you can see the look on her face is that she's really not enjoying her wedding reception. If you're a reader of body language, you could tell that the woman is really not attracted to her husband. And Cassie J does a voiceover where, I don't remember her exact words, but essentially she says, in the days before the second wave of feminism, a lot of women were forced by their fathers to marry men that they really weren't attracted to. A lot of women were forced by their fathers, the stepfathers, to marry men that they really weren't attracted to. That's why a lot of women used to do something called eloping. I mentioned that in the Beta Male Revolution. If you notice, how many times have you heard that term in the 21st century? The term eloping. You don't even hear that term anymore. Even in the latter part of the 20th century, you never heard people talk about eloping. But in the first 5, 6, 7 decades of the 20th century, that was a very common term. I feel like my lips are chapped. Sorry. That used to be a very common term, eloping. Why was eloping a very common term? Because, I mentioned this in the Beta Male Revolution. Pick that book up, as well as Who Said Again, all my audiobooks, actually. But, see, you got to understand, I don't want to go, because this is not what today's video is about. I wasn't even planning on doing a video again this week. I wasn't planning on doing my next video until sometime early next week. But something pissed me off. I'll get to that in a second. But, see, one of the things that led to the second wave of feminism was the fact that women, and I talked about this at the 21 convention, women were tired of their fathers trying to dictate who they date and who they have sex with. Women were tired of that shit. Women were like, they basically, their message to their fathers was, you don't own my pussy, I do. Remember I talked about that in my very last video about the idea of pussy ownership. Women were like, you don't own my pussy, Dad. I own my pussy. I'm going to do what the fuck I want to do with my pussy. You don't own my shit. That's one of the top 2 to 3 things that led to the second wave of feminism. It was women were tired of their fathers trying to dictate their love lives and sex lives. Their attitude was, it's my life. It's my body. I'm going to date who the fuck I want to date. I'm going to fuck who the fuck I want to fuck. But see, before the 1960s, man, that's how it was, man. A lot of fathers, not all, but a good number of them, they would basically choose their daughters' husbands for them. Like if a woman brought home a guy that the father didn't approve of, the father would say, no, you can't date him anymore. Or you can't marry him. And if some women would listen to their fathers and they would go ahead and end up dating a beta male that they weren't really attracted to. But some women would defy their parents and they would do something called eloping. Eloping. They would elope and go sneak. Basically, eloping would mean to go for a woman to go ahead and get married to a man that her parents did not approve of. That's basically what eloping was. Whenever a woman was to get married to a guy without her parents' approval. And in some cases, same thing with a man. Sometimes it wasn't as common among men, but sometimes a man would introduce his girlfriend to his parents, and his parents wouldn't approve of the girlfriend. They'd be like, no, she too skanky. She's not from a good enough family for you to date. You know, I'll be honest, man. If I had to tell some of my personal business, my mother had a little bit of that. Not a lot, but she had a little bit of that. My mother was real picky on the women I dated for long-term relationships. Oh, man, yeah. I mean, she knew she wasn't going to stop who I had casual sex with. She didn't even try to stop that. But when it came to women I dated like in a serious relationship, oh, man, my mother, she would never try to tell me who to date or who not to date once I became a grown adult. She would leave that up to me. But she would, at minimum, she would always offer her strong opinions. And yeah, if she felt like I was interested in a woman that wasn't up to her standards, she would let me know. She would basically be like, nah. Some way worse, she'd be like, nah, she ain't good enough for you. But yeah, man. So anyway, so yeah, if you got time, check it out. You know, all around videos compared to mine are like ultra short, man. You know, he rarely does videos more than 15 minutes. I think his video today was about 12 minutes. But yeah, I love that part in his video when he was talking about that women don't want to submit to beta males. But speaking of fathers having influence over their daughters, this leads me to a perfect segue into what I really want to talk about. Now, if you've been keeping up with the news, you know there's a CBS News journalist named Gayle King, who in her personal life is the best friend of the well-known billionaire Oprah Winfrey. She did a high publicized interview with R. Kelly. And I watched the interview yesterday and I watched the portion today. And today, now I gave her props for yesterday's interview. The fact that she remained so cool, calm, and collected when R. Kelly allowed his emotions to get the best of him. And I generally empathize with that brother, man. I don't care what you say about R. Kelly, man. You know, I don't look at him as no monster. He's made some mistakes. We all do. He's made some bad choices, bad decisions. We all do. I met the brother before, back in the late 80s. So there's a large part of me that empathizes with the pain he's going through. I'll say that publicly. On a quick side note, man, brothers, man, y'all got to be on top of your gut. Got to be on your P's and Q's, man. They're coming after us, man. I ain't going to go too deep on that. Coming after us, man. I know the reasons for it. I'm not going to state them at this time. Watch yourself. Watch your back. But anyway, man, you know, here's where I gave her kudos yesterday. And I'm going to give kudos to sisters as a group. Most sisters, when I say sisters, for those non-black people listen to me, when I say brothers and sisters, most of them I'm referring to black men and black women. I refer to them as brothers and sisters. Most sisters know black men. They know us. They know some of the shit we've been through. And not all of them by far, but a good number of them, they know how to relate to us. Gayle King knew that R. Kelly wasn't going to physically attack her. She knew he was just having a moment. Damn, what's with all these sirens? She knew he was just having a moment. And I respected her for not overreacting to him having a moment. Because I hate to sound a little bit racially prejudiced here, but I'm going to just say it, man. If that would have been like a conventional, basic type white woman interviewing him, and he got up off his chair and started being emotional, she probably wouldn't have been like, oh my God, don't hit me, you Negro. Oh my God, you Negro, you big Negro, don't hit me. Oh my God, somebody call the police, he's going to attack me. I mean, you know, but Gayle King was just cool. So I gave her props for that. But the very next day, today, I had to take some of those props away, man. Because she was interviewing R. Kelly's two live-in girlfriends. One's name is Azriel. Hold on. Azriel Currie, and Joycelyn Savage. Azriel Currie and Joycelyn Savage. Two young women in their early to mid-20s that are dating R. Kelly, and they defended R. Kelly. They defended him emphatically, too. They basically said, both of them said their parents wanted them to be caught in an inappropriate sex tape with R. Kelly so they could extort him for money. And I'm probably going to be in the 1% of people in society who believe them. I know 99% of people in society listen to that interview and be like, oh, I don't believe that. That's bullshit. Those women are making that up. No, I believe them. I'll publicly say it. I believe those women, man. I do believe that their parents wanted to get some money out of R. Kelly. I do believe that. So you could quote me on that. I believe that shit. I believe them, man. I believe Azriel and Joycelyn. I believe their parents wanted them to contribute to trying to ruin R. Kelly's career. Man, you got a lot of shady people like that. Don't even get me started on Michael Jackson. You don't want to see that angry side come out of me. Because y'all know that's my dog, man. If you don't know, you know now. Michael Jackson, I'll defend him to the death. Man, let me calm down on race. Yeah. Don't get me started on my boy MJ. But, man, there's a lot of shady ass parents out here. Everybody act like parents always want the best for their children. Man, fuck that. That's bullshit. But anyway, here's where Gayle pissed me off. And this is why I'm doing another video so soon. when I didn't really plan on it. Gail was asking them, because again, they're both in there like early to mid. I think one is like 23. The other is like 24 or something. I don't know. Somewhere in there. Both of them are somewhere between 21 and 24. And Gail would start basically, criticizing them for dating R. Kelly because he's like 52, I think. And she was just like, I don't understand why you want to date an older man like that. And they was like, because we love him. And we're attracted to him, we love him. And she basically went on to say to her colleagues on the CBS This Morning News, she said, if those two women were my daughters, I would prevent them from dating a guy as old as R. Kelly. Gail King, I respect you as a journalist, and I generally like your personality, but you're about to get a dog face from yours truly. Insert angry ass dog face here. Man, I'm gonna tell you, man, even before Gail King's interview this morning, man, for me, as far as recently, this started actually when I was on O'Shea Duke Jackson's show, speaking of R. Kelly. He was interviewing me about not so much directly about R. Kelly, but the question he asked, and I'll put the link in the comment section. He asked the general question, why are women attracted to guys like R. Kelly? Why are women attracted to guys like R. Kelly? And I gave him my response. And again, you can go watch the video. But O'Shea Duke Jackson has this feature called the Sunday Rumble. Sunday Rumble. It's a real great feature. O'Shea, man, he's a thorough brother, man. I like O'Shea, man. He just has a great diversity of topics he likes to tackle. He doesn't concentrate on any one thing. He hits the spectrum of topics, particularly topics that directly, indirectly relate to the challenges facing the black community. And so I have a lot of love and respect for that young brother. So during that Sunday Rumble, first he was just talking to me, and then later on in the podcast, he had other panelists who came on and we discussed a variety of things. And there was this one brother, I'm not going to say his name. He seems like a cool brother. I don't have nothing against this brother. But there was a brother who came on the live stream, and I guess he got some daughters, at least 2 or 3 daughters. And he said he would be highly upset if an older man was to mess around with one of his daughters. To the point where he said he'd be ready to pull out a shotgun and shoot the motherfucker. Oh, here we go. I forgot to turn on my bad. I always forget to turn on my notifications. And I challenged this brother on that. I understood where he was going. Here's what I understand. Here's what I'm going to say. If you're a father of a daughter, and your daughter is 17 years of age or younger, your daughter is 17 years of age or younger, I understand where that protectiveness comes from. I understand it. I don't have no arguments with men who have daughters that are 17 years of age or younger, and they don't want their daughters messing around with any guys that are older than them. I understand it. I understand it. But if your daughter is 18 years of age or older, and even more so if your daughter is 21 years of age or older, you need to stay out of her love life, man. Real talk. You need to stay out of her love life and sex life. If your daughter is a minimum of 21 years of age or older, you need to stay out your daughter's love life or sex life. Unless she's living under your roof and you financing all, paying all her bills, then you got a right to tell her whatever the fuck you want to tell her because you paying her bills. But if a woman is 21 years of age or older and she making her own money, you need to stay out of her love life. Yeah, quote me on that. Quote Roger Currie on that. You need to stay out of her love life. Because I'm going to tell you how straight up here publicly. I don't like to talk about my personal business too much, but I'm going to talk about my personal business. Man, that's all I mess around with is younger women. That's all I mess around with is younger women. Like right now, as you know, I just celebrated a birthday where I'm seeing notifications. I just celebrated my 56th birthday on Sunday. My 56th birthday on Sunday. Now again, normally I don't go this detailed into my personal life, but for the purposes of this discussion, I'm gonna tell you. Number one, since I've been in my 50s, I've never had sex with a woman in the 50s who's in their 50s. Never. Since I've been in my 50s, I've never had sex with a woman in her 50s. Matter of fact, in my entire adult life, I only had sex with one woman in her 50s. When I was 46, 10 years ago, 2009, when I was 46, there was a woman who I had sex with who was a fuck buddy of mine that was 50. But she looked good for her age. She was an exception to the rule in terms of her physical appearance. She stated she was a nurse, stayed in really good shape. She didn't look her age at all. Matter of fact, she looked like she was late 30s, early 40s. But she was 50. That's the only time in my life I've ever had sex with a woman that was 50. The last time I had sex with a woman that was 45 years of age or older was 2013, 6 years ago. That was the last time I had sex with a woman that was 45 years of age or older. I remember, 2013, I was 50, and I had sex with a woman that was 47. She was actually my assistant. I've admitted that before publicly, so I don't feel bad admitting that publicly now. Yeah, I've had certain home office assistants, women who work with me that assist. There's some assistants I had where we were strictly business, but then I've had other assistants, honestly, where I ended up mixing business with pleasure. I had sex with some of my assistants. This woman who was 47, she was my home office assistant, but we ended up fucking. Now, that was the last woman I had sex with that was 45 years of age or older. But starting with 2014 up until now, the oldest I've ever had sex with a woman was 44. Most women I've had sex with between 2014 and now have ranged anywhere from 22 to 44. 22 to 44. My usual average, I would say, is more like 28 to 44. 28 to 44. But I had sex with, my youngest, speaking of having sex with young women, my youngest in the last few years was actually when I was in Orlando for the 21 convention in 2017. When I was in Orlando for the 21 convention, I was 54. Yeah, I was 54 at the time. I ended up having sex with a woman that was 22. That's my youngest to date in terms of age difference. Yep. I had sex with a woman that was... Here was the kicker about that story. And I told this story, I think, on one... Yeah, I did. I told this story on one previous video, I think. But it might have been a Patreon exclusive video. But the most interesting thing, I wasn't even trying to have sex with her. That's the ironic thing. I wasn't even trying to have sex with her. What happened, I ain't going to get all the details of the story, but in a nutshell, I met this woman who was actually 41, who was real attractive. And I wanted to fuck the woman who was 41. But the second time I met with the woman who was 41, she brought along this coworker of hers who was 22. And we just start having this conversation. And towards the latter part of the conversation, you know me, it started getting X-rated, really sexually provocative. And skipping on miscellaneous details, what happened was I told both of them, I said, if y'all want some of daddy's dick before I leave town, send me a text message. Just say, what you doing? That's what I said. I said, just write me a text saying, daddy, what you doing? And then I'll know you want to give me some pussy. And they both laughed and they was like, oh, you so bad, you so naughty and all that type of stuff. Now, I expected to hear from the woman who was 41. Because to be truthful, between the two of them, at least facially, the woman who was 41 was more attractive than the one that was 22. But I would say body-wise, the one who was 22 had it more going on. Yeah, she had a very average face, but she had a real nice body. But sure enough, man, the next day, guess who I hear from? I didn't hear from the 41-year-old. But the one that was 22 ended up writing me a text saying, "Daddy, what you doing?" And we hooked up and we fucked. Yeah, so anyway. And one more thing about that, I definitely don't make the names of the women I keep company of public. And probably 95% of the time, I don't make the faces of the women I keep company of public. But if people have checked out my Instagram, which I could tell somebody wrote in my comment section about 2 or 3 videos ago, they was on my Instagram. They saw me with a young lady when last time I was in Los Angeles. But the woman in that picture, man, she's 25 years younger than me. She's 25 years younger than me. When I was in Miami, I remember I showed a picture of a woman I was keeping company with to O'Shea and 1 or 2 other people. A fine-ass Cuban woman, 25 years younger than me. That's all I mess around with, man, is younger women, man. I know I'm going to hurt some feelings when I say this and bruise some egos among women, but I'm going to just keep it real, man. I'm not attracted to women who are close to my age. I would say definitely, if you're talking about for long-term relationships, not at all. I have no interest in having a long-term relationship with a woman that's close to my age. Ain't nothing a woman can do for me. And again, I know I'm hurting some feelings and bruising some egos, but if a woman is roughly 45 years of age or older, she can't do anything for me. She can't do anything for me. Because number one, man, my only motivation to engage in a long-term relationship with a woman, I'm talking about like, say the type of relationship that could potentially lead to marriage, is I would want a woman to give birth to some children for me, at least 1 child for me. Ain't no woman in her mid to late 40s going to be giving birth to no children, so she can't do anything for me. Now, I would probably still have like a one-night stand or a weekend fling or some variation of casual sex with a woman that's, maybe 45 to 49. Or she could be a polyamorous lover of mine. But other than that, man, yeah, I'm just generally, unless a woman's what I call an exception to the rule, meaning she really keeps herself in extraordinarily good physical shape and that type of thing, women who are 45 years of age or older don't really do anything for me. Now, I would say even to a lesser extent, women who are between 40 and 44 don't do all that much for me, although I have messed around with at least a handful of women that were between 40 and 44. My preference is women, I'd say roughly 25 to 39. 25 to 39 would be my preference. I would even say more so 28 to 39. 28 to 39. Yeah, 28 to 39. I've messed around with a lot of women in that age range in the last few years. There's women that are 28 to 39. I don't see why all these, I notice it particularly among black people, at the risk of generalizing. A lot of black people have problems with that, man. They have problems. Man, I don't like to bring race into the issue on a lot of my discussions, but I have to at least touch on it a bit, man. Man, most white people don't be tripping off that shit, man. They don't. If any of y'all live in Los Angeles, where I used to live, and I go back there frequently, man, if you live in a city like Los Angeles or New York, a major metropolis like those 2 cities, man, you're going to see that shit all the time, man. Man, when I lived in Los Angeles, I regularly saw men who in their 50s, 60s, and 70s with women who were between 21 and 29. Regularly. I mean, it wasn't even nothing that was considered abnormal. You regularly saw men who were in their 50s, 60s, and 70s dating women that were between 21 and 29. And even sometimes women who were between 18 and 20. Like I heard a guy on a podcast trying to say, well, I think guys are disgusting if they're even attracted to a woman who's like 18, 19, 20, 21. Man, I don't want to say the N-word. Motherfucker, please spare me with that bullshit. You are a liar. You are a liar. physically attracted to women who are 18, 19, 20, 21. Now, I rarely mess around with women since I've been in my, 30s, I think. I don't think I've ever messed around with a woman that was under 21. But I would be a bold-faced liar if I would say I don't find them physically attractive. My main thing is personality-wise. Personality-wise, a woman who's 18, 19, 20, I almost look at them as having the personality of a little girl, man. And that's why I'm not attracted to them. Because in terms of maturity level, they just, believe it or not, part of what attracts me to a woman is her personality. I know some men act like personality is totally unimportant. Now, when you get older, man, personality comes into play just as much as looks. And, I can't mess around with a woman who has the personality of a little girl. But speaking of that interview with O'Shea, that O'Shea did with me, I admitted on that interview, man, when I was between 19 and 28, 29, man, I regularly had girls that were 15, 16, 17 throwing pussy at me. Regularly. And there was one, I remember this one chick, she was 16 when I was 22. Yeah, there was one chick when I was 22, she was 16. Man, she threw the pussy at me real hard. I mean, like, real hard. And that brings me to another point. A lot of people in society, when it comes to older men and younger women, they always talk with the assumption that the older man was the aggressor, the initiator and or the aggressor. That's bullshit. That's bullshit, man. That's bullshit. Bullshit. That's bullshit, man. Man, I've had a lot of younger women who made the first move on me and were basically the aggressor. Again, going back to Orlando, that 22-year-old chick I fucked. She was the aggressor with me. I wasn't the aggressor with her. Again, I was actually trying to fuck her coworker who was 41. I wasn't even trying to fuck her. She was the one who came on to me. A lot of younger women, man, are attracted to older men. They like men who have a kind of a daddy figure to them. A lot of younger women like men who have a daddy figure to them, man. So don't act like all older men are these sexually aggressive predators and shit who prey on young women. Get this finger and stick it where you don't want to stick it. Man, get out of here with that bullshit. Man, there's younger women throw themselves at older men. Please. Shoot, man. The most notable celebrity, of course, is Hugh Hefner, man. Hugh Hefner, man, when he was 75, man, he had girlfriends that were like as young as like 21, 22, 23 years old. Again, man, at the risk of generalizing by race, man, white people don't be tripping on that hard like black people do. I notice black people trip on that age difference 2 to 3 times more than non-blacks do. A lot of non-black people, man, they don't be tripping on that age difference, man. That shit is normal for them, man. That shit's been going around for centuries. You hear me? That's been going on for centuries, man. For centuries, man, there's been older men dating and having sex with women significantly younger than them. For centuries. You don't think older, powerful kings weren't having sex with women that were real young? Are you serious? Man, that used to be a regular thing among powerful, wealthy men. They would marry a woman, and when she got to about the age of her like early, mid, late 40s, they would do one of two things. They would either just dump their wife and replace her with a much younger woman, or if they didn't just flat out dump her, they would keep her, they would continue to finance her, take care of her, her living shelter, basically finance her lifestyle, but they would stop fucking her, and they would get a concubine, a much younger concubine. That's how it was, man. Excuse me. Burp number 1. That's how it was. This ain't nothing abnormal. It's been going on for centuries, man, older men. Man, why do you think one of the main things that motivates a lot of older men to want to become wealthy, powerful, influential, and high status? What do you think is one of their primary motivations? So they can pull a woman that's in their 50s and 60s? Don't let me give you another dog face. Man, that's one of the number one powerful things that motivates a lot of guys in their 40s and 50s to want to achieve a high degree of financial success and a high degree of social status, power, and influence, is so they could be in a position to pull younger women. The only time men really want to be with women close, an older man wants to be with a woman close to his age, is if that woman's the mother to his children. Is if that woman's the mother to his children. That's the only time that the average man is enthusiastic about being with a woman. If he's, say, 45 years of age or older, that he's going to be enthusiastic about being with a woman that's in his same age group. Is if that woman's the mother to his children, or if not the mother to his children, he's been dating her for like years. Like he started dating her when he was in his 20s or 30s, and they've just grown. They have so many years underneath them, behind them, that, they got that strong bond. But let's say a man is 45 and he's totally single. He's out single and out in the dating scene. Man, there ain't too many men that are 45 years of age or older that want to hook up with a woman who's 45 years of age or older. Of course, you're going to have exceptions. You're going to have exceptions. But I'm saying by and large, most men, particularly if they're affluent, like i.e. making like $100,000 a year or more, man, please. If you believe that, you're delusional. Any man who's roughly 45 years of age or older that's single and making a minimum of $100,000 a year or more, he is not trying to hook up with no woman that's close to his age. I can almost guarantee you that. Rare exceptions aside, I don't want to hear about no rare exceptions. I'm talking about by and large, any man who is 45 years of age or older that's earning a minimum of $100,000 a year or more is not trying to hook up with no woman that's close to his age. He's trying to hook up with a woman at minimum at least 5 years younger than him. I'd say minimum 5 years younger than him, if not more. Minimum 5 years younger than him. In some cases, I would say a minimum of 10 years younger. Like I remember, man, my brother one time got hated on a few years ago because, my brother's wife is roughly 7 years younger than him. I remember I was in Chicago hanging out with one of my cousins, and one of my cousin's friends, man, somehow we got on the subject of age difference. And I mentioned my brother's wife at that time, she was his fiance. And I remember this sister, man, she just started going off. She's like, your brother's disgusting for wanting to date a woman that young. She went as far as to call my brother a cradle robber. And his wife is only 7 years younger than him. Now, at the time, I think my brother's wife was 39 and my brother was 46. Yeah, she was 40. My sister-in-law was 39 and my brother was 46. And his sister in Chicago had the nerve to call that cradle robbing. I don't consider, to me, 5, 6, 7 years, that ain't even really a difference to me. To me, it ain't even worth talking about if it ain't at least 10 years difference. If it ain't at least 10-year difference, it ain't even worth discussing. But yeah, a lot of people hate on the older man, younger woman relationships, man. I'm telling you, 2 to 3 groups of people usually hate. I already touched on one. Men who are fathers of daughters. That would be group number 1 of haters. A lot of men who are fathers of daughters do not want their daughters dating men who are significantly older than their daughters. And I would say even more so black men. I don't hear that those criticisms come from as much from white men, to be honest. And I hate to generalize by race, but it's just the truth. I don't hear white men talking about pulling out no shotgun if their daughter date an older man, particularly if the older man is financially self-sufficient and they feel like that older man's going to take care of their daughter financially. They don't have no problems with that shit. They don't have no problems with that shit. Most white men, they would rather see their young daughter with an older man who is financially self-sufficient and financially stable than with a young motherfucker who's broke and unemployed. But you got a lot of black men, they like, man, my daughter better not be out with no man who's 10, 15, 20 years older than her. Man, y'all niggas need to stop that noise. Again, if you're talking about your daughter that's 17 years of age or younger, I understand it. I'm on your side with that. I would even give you a pass if your daughter is 18, 19, or 20. 18, 19, or 20, I'd give you a pass. But if your daughter is 21 years of age or older, you need to stay out of her love life and sex life. That woman's a grown adult. Especially if she out making her own money. She got a job, she making her own money. Get out of her life. Because all she gonna do is sneak behind your back. Y'all need to wake the fuck up, man. Stop all that noise. Shit, pull your shotgun on me if you bad enough. And you'll be dead in a week after you do. Shoot, O'Shea, no, I ain't gonna get too deep on that, but O'Shea know how I roll, man. I got niggas all over this country, man, who look out for me, boy. You can't talk as much shit as I do without having people to look out for me. Shit, nigga pull a shotgun out of me, he'll be dead in a week. That's how Roger Currie roll. And you can take that for what it's worth. Second group of haters is older women who can't pull no men. Older women who can't pull no men. That's the second group of haters of the older man, younger woman relationships, is older women who can't pull no men. Like women who are 40 years of age older, 45 years of age older, 50 years of age older, and they having problems pulling men, and they realize that most of the men in their own age group don't want them. So they jealous and envious. Like, I had an ex-girlfriend. Tell me one time, we started off talking about interracial relationships. And at first she said, it was interesting. At first she said, Alan, she said, I would get mad if we were to break up and I saw you dating a white woman. She said, that would make me mad. And she said it kind of lightheartedly. But then she paused, and it was interesting. Then she paused, and then this is what she said. She said, no, she said, scratch that. You know what would really piss me off? Because at the time, I dated this woman. Damn, I don't want to say that because y'all figure out who that is. But let's just say she was older. And she said, you know what would really piss me off more than you? She said, I would rather see you date, if we were to break up, which we did break up, but she said, if we were to break up, I would rather see you dating an older white woman than a significantly younger black woman. That's exactly what she said. She said, I would rather see you date an older white woman than a significantly younger black woman. She said, if we were to break up and then I saw the next woman you were dating was a woman that was, say, 15, 20 years younger than you, she said, ooh, that would piss me off. She said, ooh, that would piss me off. That would piss me off so bad. I guess she must have got pissed because, shoot, I've dated a lot of women 15, 20 years younger than me. Yeah, man, so the second group of haters, again, the first group of haters is a lot of men who have daughters, and I would say even more specifically at the risk of generalizing, black men. Number two, I would say is older women, middle-aged to older women who are having problems attracting men themselves. And third group is some percentage of younger men. Like there's a lot of men who are between 18 and 29 who they hate seeing girls their age, women their age, dating men significantly older than. I ain't gonna lie, I was like that a little bit. I'll openly admit. I was like that, notifications. I was like that when I was young. I remember when I was around, like, I don't know, 23, 24, 25. I used to hate to see a woman my age with a guy that looked to be like 20 years older than her. I hated it. Now, if the guy was like, 5, 6, 7 years older than her, I didn't care about that. But if a guy was like 20 years or more older than her, man, that would, at least in a mildly, that would kind of make me pissed off. But oh, speaking of that, I remember I had this one woman. I went to high school. Well, we didn't go to high school together. She went to a different high school, but we were in high school around the same time. Name is Jacqueline. And usually I use fake names, but that's a real name. So y'all don't know her, so it don't matter. But that's a real name, Jacqueline. Fine. Jacqueline was fine. Jacqueline, if I had to compare her to somebody, she looked like maybe like Apollonia from Purple Rain. She was on that level. She was fine. She was fine, motherfucker. Fine red bone, man. Fine red bone, man. But I remember, man, she was married twice, man. Her first husband, she married when she was 21 or 22. Her husband was like 36, 37. Her first husband, he was at least, he was about approximately 15 years older than her. Then her second husband was even older than that. Her second husband, he was about 30 years older than her. Yeah, he was about 30 years. And one day we were talking, man. After I left LA and came back to the Midwest, we ran into each other and we were talking. She was actually talking about my book, Mo 1. She actually got my book from the library. She was curious to read my book, Mo 1. But she was too cheap to buy it. She went and actually got it from the library. I think that's where we ran into each other. We ran into each other at the checked and she was telling me she had checked out my book, Mo 1. Anyway, we got to talking and I teased about that. I said, Jacqueline, you know I was always attracted to you, but you never seem to give me the time of day. I said, even though I had a lot of your friends used to always just throw the pussy at me, but I said, you always like treated me like just a platonic friend. I said, why is that? She said, I don't remember her exact words, so I'm going to be paraphrased, but essentially she said, Alan, I hate to break this to you, but she said, from the time I was in high school, I was never attracted to men my own age. She said, I never had any attraction for men that were close to my own age. She said, I was always attracted to men older than me. She said, I don't want to hurt your feelings, Alan, and I say this with all due respect to your mother. But she said, I was more attracted to your father than I was to you. And I was like, what? My father? I said, my father is old enough to be your dad. She said, exactly. That confirmed the point. She was basically like, exactly. She said, that's what I'm attracted to. She said, hypothetically, like if your father was a widow and say your mother had passed away and he was like a widow, she said, oh, I want to went after your father hard. She said, I want to went after your father hard. She said, your father, I thought he was extremely handsome. He was intelligent. He was well-spoken. She said, yeah, I would have hooked up with your father before I would have ever hooked up with you. And I was just like, damn. That crushed my ego. I was like, damn, that's cold. But see, that just reaffirms my point about a lot of people thinking that it's the older man who's always the one who's the aggressive one, the initiator. You know, some people like to call older men creepy predators. That's bullshit, man. There's a lot of younger women who have the hots for older men. And this woman, Jacqueline, was admitting that. She said basically all the older men she hooked up with, she went after them. They didn't aggressively come after her. She went after them. So man, y'all need to stop with this hate of the older man, younger woman relationship, man. Y'all need to stop with that noise, man. Again, the three groups that need to stop with it is fathers of daughters, and particularly Black African-American fathers of daughters. Y'all need to stop with that. Again, here's where I'm on your side. I'll say it for the third time. If your daughter is 17 years of age or younger, and you say you don't want your daughter dating older men, I 100% understand that. I would feel the same way if I had a daughter. I don't have a daughter, but if I did, I would feel the same way. Secondly, if your daughter is even maybe 18, 19, or 20, and you don't want her dating a guy significantly older than her, I can halfway understand that, even though she is legal, but I can halfway understand that. But if your daughter is 21 years of age or older, 21 years of age or older, and I would say even more so if, say, she's 25 years of age or older, at bare minimum, if she's 25 years of age or older, man, you need to stay the fuck out of your daughter's life, man. Because older men are going to be hooking up with her if she wants them to. They're going to hook up with her. You need to stay the fuck out your daughter's love life and sex life. If your daughter is at least 21 years of age or older, and at minimum, if she's 25 years of age or older, you need to stop that noise. You need to come into the real fucking world. Shit been going on for centuries, man. So that's group number one that need to chill out. Group number two is you older, jealous, envious women who can't get no man. You know, now I've had a lot of arguments with the podcast host named Mumia Obsidian Ali, but I've always told him, man, if there's at least one area where me and him are pretty much on the same page, because he has this funny thing where he calls older women who can't get no men burnt pies. Burnt pies. Man, that shit cracks me. Man, after one time when me up saying, you know, me and him have had a lot of back and forths, a lot of beefs and differences. But hey, me and him are allies on that issue. That burnt pie, yeah, that's what he calls older women, women who are roughly 40 years of age or older who can't get no man, or who have unrealistic expectations about male companionship. He calls them burnt pies. He says, man, I don't want no burnt pies. Who the fuck wants some burnt apple pie or burnt peach cobbler? I don't want no burnt pies. Hey, so Obsidian, if you listening, I'm with you on that. I know we have a boatload of differences, but that's one area where you and I are on the same page, man. Burnt pies, man. And then the third group, this group is not too emphatic about their haterade. And again, that's younger men who are roughly between 18 and 29. A lot of men who are between 18 and 29, if they have a major attraction to a woman that's close to their age, a lot of them hate to see. But what it does for younger men is it motivates them to want to improve their career success, their financial success, and their overall game with women. Their game with women. Shoot, why instead of hating, what you need to be doing is fucking some of these older women like I used to do. Shoot, when I was in my 20s, man, I fucked a lot of women in their 30s and 40s. Shit, I fucked a lot of women who were in their 30s and 40s when I was in my 20s. Yeah. So anyway, man, that's all I got for you today, man. Again, this was an angry rant type deal, man. I'm just tired of it because, man, again, man, I ain't fucked a woman 45 years of age or older since 2013, man. Since 2000, pretty much all my lovers over the last few years have been between roughly 28 and 44. Roughly 28 and 44. And I have one lover, again, who was as young as 22. When I was in Orlando in 2017, I had one lover who was as young as 22. And again, she came on to me. I didn't aggressively pursue her. She came on to me. I hate to use that old worn out adage, but hey, age is just a number. Once you get to the age of 21 years of age or older, age is nothing but a chronological number. It don't mean shit else. I'm out.
Yes, sir.
Say it again.
Yes, sir.
Who's the king?
Alan, you're the king.
Say it again.
Alan, you're the king. You're dominating me.
Say it again.
Alan, you're dominating me right now. Mode 1.
Mode 1.
Daddy, can I go, please? You're the king.
Say it again.
Oh, you're the fucking king. Yes. Yes. Yes.
You're the king, Alan.
AKA the king of verbal seduction. You know, it's the tone of your voice, how seductive. Your intonations are the vibrations that you could just reach out over the phone lines and stroke a woman's breast just by the sound of your voice. How you could make her pussy so wet just by the sound of your voice. That's actually very hot.
So you said my show was what?
I said your show is powerful.
Oh, say it again.
Your show is powerful.
I bet the king would fuck me really good.
Who's the king?
Alan Roger Currie.
Oh, yeah. Who's the king?
Alan Roger Currie, the king.
The king.